Good morning, guys. Happy Tuesday. As happy as it could possibly be. So, well, we all saw yesterday that the FDA has approved the Pfizer vaccine. And I got quite a few emails. Apparently, there's, as usual, misinformation running around the internet. Go figure. Okay. Just to clarify it for everybody, it is approved. The Pfizer vaccine was approved for people ages 16 and above. It is still under the emergency use authorization for people under 16. So I know the wording is a little fuzzy in there. Go figure, government document. But that's the nuts and bolts of it. So now comes the interesting part, okay? Whether you saw it or not, Potato Joe decided to go have a press conference today. Of course, didn't take any questions because, God knows they can't write cue cards for that. But his comment was, well, if you've been waiting for the authorization, now you've got it. So go get the vaccine. Okay, and there may be some people like that were waiting to see it authorized. I don't know what the difference is between yesterday and today in somebody's mind, but okay, if that's what you were waiting on, hey, go for it. But this is where you hear me say this all the time. Can't think past here. Okay. Of course, the White House comes out and says, that they are expecting companies and universities and everything like that to now mandate it for employees, students, whatever it would be. Now they can do it. The Nuremberg Code deal is over if you're over 16, okay? Because now it's not an experimental position, even though the human trials haven't finished, okay? But it's approved by the FDA, so be it. Leave it to some places to not think past here. The one who's great for doing that is good old Bill de Blasio in New York. And so shortly, and I mean very shortly, within an hour or so of this thing getting approved, de Blasio, mind you, who's on his way out as mayor, okay, mandated that all school employees, so that's teachers, principals, administrators, secretaries, janitors, you name it, are mandated to get the COVID vaccine. Okay. That's about 150,000 people in New York City. Now, let me ask you this. If the numbers in New York City, and I don't know them off the top of my head, so I'm going to just take the national average. If 40% of the population is not completely vaccinated, let's hypothetically say 40% of the people in New York are not either. That would be 60,000 school employees who, as de Blasio put it, get the jab or lose your job. Okay. You tell me how well the New York City school system can handle losing 60,000 employees at the beginning of the school year. Okay. This is how insane this is going to be. And I think that companies are going to see this very quickly because there are a lot of people for a multitude of reasons, whether it's medical reasons, whether it's religious reasons, whether it is just their conscience, okay, are not going to take this. 70, we were talking for so long about 70% would get us herd immunity, okay? And, now apparently 70% is not going to be good enough. Now it's got to be 100%, which they'll never get to. That's impossible. But so if you take that with companies who we all know for the last 9 months, a year, whatever, have been screaming that they can't hire people. Okay. We want $15 an hour wages. Okay. They got a lot of places paying $15 an hour. Okay, $15 an hour, go to Chick-fil-A here, okay, and you can get $15 an hour for working at a fast food joint, okay? But they got their $15 an hour, beside the fact that, you can't go to a fast food joint for an individual and get out of there for under $10, but that's beside the point. But they're screaming that they can't hire enough people. Restaurants are closing, fast food joints shutting down breakfast. They're, not doing the overnight drive-thrus. They're closing the dining rooms, whatever it would be. And this is any business. I'm just using fast food as an example. But if they can't get employees before, how in the hell do they expect to do it when they eliminate 40% of the population from being eligible? Now, obviously the military passed, all over this today. The Pentagon came out and said, now it's done. Military is mandatory. Okay, we're going to see what happens with this one. Military the same way. They've been screaming for years that they can't meet enlistment goals. You hear the stories all the time. 80% of the kids these days aren't eligible to join either because they're obese or they've got, drug problems. Okay, so if you've got 20% left of the population and you take 40% of those people out, that means you are now down to 12% of the high school graduation class that's eligible, not interested, eligible to go in the military. You see a problem here, okay? This is where I have a huge issue with this one, okay? And depending on where you are, some places have, some places haven't. Remember last year that they were having ticker tape parades and, honoring the heroes, the first responders, the doctors and the nurses who were, working long hours and handling, all the people in the ERs and everything like that. And they were heroes. I mean, the media was all over it. The politicians were all over it. These are heroes. These are heroes. These are heroes. What changed from last year to this year? It's the same doctor, the same nurse, the same PA, the same OB, whatever medical profession, same person who just so happens to now have a year's more experience in medicine and a year's worth of experience in handling COVID patients. Now they're the enemy. Now, all of a sudden, after being a hero last year, them doing nothing different except learning more, okay, getting better at their trade, now they're pariahs. Now they're outcasts. Now hospitals and clinics and everything like that are firing these people. See a problem with that? Mrs. P and I were talking today, and she had a very interesting theory. I thought it was actually pretty good. What if, as we are now, 14 months away from the 2022 elections, what if this is all a plot, a ploy to keep people home, to not let anybody go anywhere, like the polls, so everybody has to do mail-in voting next year? I thought that was a brilliant analysis. What if that's exactly what's going on? Is they're going to try to make everybody so freaking desperate, and all talking about lockdowns or lockouts or anything like that, locking you out of work, okay? Can't go here, can't go there, can't go wherever. Now you don't have any income, okay? Now it's like, I don't want to spend the gas money, but gee, we'll send you an envelope and you can just mail your vote in. And then, of course, we have 2020 all over again. I thought that was a real interesting comment. Something to think about. I got something to think about, too, with a new client I'm starting. I'm waiting to hear an answer. You can probably bet what it is. Have a good day, guys. Pinball out.